How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. New brewery time. Not just new brewery time, new brewery, local new brewery. To me time. In the form of Chilton Brewing, it is their black lager. Their Schwarzbier, if you will. New brewery. Haven't had anything from these guys yet. Well, I actually went to the brewery, had a couple beers, but I haven't reviewed anything from these guys yet. They popped up on my radar a couple months ago, maybe around like Marchish, give or take, and they just popped on Facebook, and I kind of saw it. I was like, holy shit, this isn't that far away from me. About like just over half an hour away, and only about like 10-15 minutes away from like the biggest town. I have to go where I live. I have to go to a town called Hackettstown to kind of go grocery shopping and do all the shit that we do in our lives to live. Go there for beer too. There's a couple of good breweries in there. Manskirt Brewing, Zigmeister. I've done a bunch of their reviews. They're only an additional like 10 minutes away. And I was like, okay. So I reached out on Facebook. I'm like, you guys open? They're like, no, we're not open yet. It'll be a bit. I just kind of forgot about them. But today, me and my buddy Keith and my wife were sitting around and we're like, let's go to Hackettstown, do some grocery shopping, find some food to grill up because it's a beautiful June day. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, are these guys open yet? They were. Longer story longer. We're going to dive into it. So it is a 5.4% black lager, Schwarzbier. That's how they had it listed. It was Schwarzbier black lager. And that'd be it. Label-wise. It's alright, crowler-wise. It's a little, Chilton Mill, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's the last name of the owner. I know there's a big grist mill thing in that area over there, so that could be part of it, but... Ooh! That sucker was hard to open. It's getting sweet, delicious, malty beeriness everywhere, so... Let's see what the sucker has. I grabbed one of my bigger Willie Beechers. Dive into this crowler, see what she's got. She's pouring fucking beautiful, I'll tell you that much. So yeah, you're talking about a Schwarzbier, talking about a black lager. You're talking about a rich, it can go a bunch of different ways. Schwarzbier can go. You can go the route of just being kind of a slightly maltier kind of lager, which I would say is a bit more of traditional sense, or you can go kind of Schwarzbier the way someone like Suarez would go, which would be like, I had their Schwarzbier, their black lager, and it was super robust and really kind of sweet and rich. So you can run the gamut of a bunch of different ways, but this one looks pretty nice. A little bit darker than what I typically expect a Schwarzbier to be. I mean, we're talking like microns and SRM level here, but a little bit darker, but she looks quite nice. Soft, kind of mocha colored or malted malt ball colored head on her, and a rich, deep, dark body to her. So she's looking the part. She's looking the part, baby. Let's see if we can get a nose. That's nice. That's nice. That runs... It's malt driven. No shit, Sherlock. It's a Schwarzbier. It's a black lager. You're gonna get a nice malt base off it. But this one actually has multiple levels to it. Yeah, it's rich. It has a soft kind of like brown sugar molasses vibe to it, which is really fucking awesome. Reminds me of a little bit of those kind of Schwarzbiers, one of the ones that are a little bit more kind of robust, the base kind of black lager. And it has this nice kind of chocolate vibe. So there's coffee in there. There's chocolate. There's this nice soft kind of molasses kind of maple syrup kind of thing going on in there. And it's really awesome. Not getting super big lager vibes off it because some of those notes are quite big as far as sweetness goes. So I think they're kind of dumbing down a bit of that. But, I mean, she smells pretty damn good, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, I'm digging that. Let's just dive in. Cheers. That's a good beer. That's a good beer. Yeah, I mean, that... sweet, molassesy, maple syrupy kind of thing doesn't really follow as robust in the taste as it does in the nose, but it's still kind of eking there. You do get more of that roasted malt / coffee kind of vibe. It comes off a little bit astringent, a little bit bittering, a little bit dry. It kind of works in combination with the hops, which aren't all that showy. If anything, they're just a little bit of soft West Coast piney dankiness to it, just enough to add a little bit of depth to the kind of the way the hops come off. Is really fun, but there's a nice sweetness to it too. So all kinds of works. It doesn't come off super dense, super thick. There's a nice soft mouthfeel to it, almost subtle porter-like mouthfeel, with that creamy fluffiness, a little bit of carbonation at play there, kind of propping up that mouthfeel. And it works. I dig it. I like the way it comes off. In the grand scheme of things, when someone drinks something this dark and that smells like syrupy, not syrupy, but molasses, like sweet, like I should say. Don't use the negative words when they shouldn't belong. A lot of people will be like, it's a little bit thin. I don't think this beer is thin by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's in line exactly with where a Schwarzbier should be. But the beer in and of itself is probably just dialed a little bit bigger. The volume's turned up slightly larger than what your kind of traditional Schwarzbier would sit. Bounce back and forth between taking a whiff and drinking the beer is quite fun. Because with that nose being a little bit sweeter, a little bit maltier than the actual taste, but diving into it and getting a little bit more bittering chocolates, bittering maltiness, along with still getting subtle coffee and kind of molasses, syrupy kind of vibes on it. It's really good. This is a really well done beer. It's super clean, super like chuggable. There's nothing as far as any negative flavors at all in the beer whatsoever, which is kind of unique. No, I shouldn't say unique, maybe. I don't even want to say a surprise. I had a couple of their beers when I was picking this up, and a couple of the kind of IPAs did have a little bit of kind of dacetyl, kind of DMS things floating around in this. So I was like, okay, we'll see where this one lands. This is super clean, super well made. And talking about 5.4% alcohol by volume, this drinks bigger than that. It has a more robust kind of vibrance to it. It comes off a little bit more like a 7% beer than a 5% beer. Yeah, I dig this. I could drink this all day. And the nose is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I dig this. I like this. This is kind of like my kind of desserty beer when I'm in a kind of drinking mood. Like, I came back, had dinner, gonna crack a couple beers, and I wanted something with a bit more of richness to it, as opposed to something that is really kind of hop forward. And this kind of foots that bill. It's giving me a lot of those kind of richer, more robust kind of stout vibes, but in a very tight and tidy package, while at the same time being drinkable, being a lager, being crisp and clean and chuggable. So you get so many awesome bits and pieces of a couple different worlds kind of thrown in a beer, and it works really well. I'm going to tell you what. Like I said, I had a couple beers there, and I really liked the stuff that I had. I had a little Belgian, French style saison. I had a little bit of Goza there. I liked the beers quite a bit. The IPAs were a little bit kind of, they were fine, but they were just a little bit off for what I typically enjoy when it comes to kind of hop forward beers. Although the one little West Coasty was quite nice, but this is probably the best of the bunch. I mean, it's fantastic, super rich, super tasty, super chuggable, while at the same time being impactful. Yeah, there you go. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better Schwarzbier, one of the better darker lagers I've had as late? It would default to that just in general because I don't drink them all that often. But in the grand scheme of things, it's one of the better ones I had, period, in quite some time. I mean, it works. It's well made. It gives me what I want to have from it. And yeah, I'm gonna have no problem tossing back this whole big crowler of this thing tonight. So yeah, that's awesome in and of itself. Value and availability, $14. I believe I paid for this crowler. That's okay. I'd like to see more towards like the $10, $12 range in 14, but new brewery opening, trying to keep their doors open. I can appreciate that. And leave you with, if you like what we like this, if you like Schwarzbier, if you like dark beers, if you like porters, if you like stouts, and you want a stout porter, rich beer, Baltic porter kind of vibe, but in a lower ABV and something that's quite chuggable, you're going to get it here. Listen, it's not going to be confused with a thick 5, 6, 8C thick beer by any stretch of the imagination. It's not pastry driven. It's core 4 beer. But the way the coffee comes through, the way that chocolate comes through, it gives you those little bit of brown sugar kind of molasses vibes. If those are the kind of things that turn you on, you're going to get it done and pretty well done in a tiny little beer from a tiny little brewery. That's what beer's all about. Let's put it this way. New brewery by me, 30 minutes away. I'm sold. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little Schwarzbier right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.